Welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy this video. Time to dive into the book.
Hello, this is Jessica with On a Stack of Books, and today's video is my second video for the 50 before 50. So this is the second half, the next 25 books, read in no particular order. I'm just gonna go ahead and jump right into it. Slaughterhouse-Five. I have this book, so I'm going to start with all the books that I have, and then we'll get into the books that I don't have. What I know of this is it's the account of a soldier that is, I think he was a POW, but it is his, I don't remember which war it was, but his account of being in the war. I think he has some dark humor. It's supposed to be funny, but it's supposed to be, you know, pretty raw, his experience. So we have this one. Then I have Good Omens by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. I bought this book years ago because I saw good reviews on it, and then there was a really funny quote, and of course I don't think that I have. I found the quote. All tapes left in a car for more than about a fortnight metamorphose into best of Queen albums. I had stumbled upon that quote and I just thought it was funny, and so I thought that it would be really great. I ordered it, and I don't think I was in the right headspace, or I was expecting it to be something different. It's sort of like the good angel and the bad angel come down and they have jobs to do, but they don't really do a very good job. I need to reread it. Like I didn't get very far. I need to start fresh and read it. So it is on the list. Okay. As I Lay Dying by William Faulkner. This is a story of a family taking their dying mother across a road trip to Mississippi, I think. Yes. And you get the point of view of the husband and the children and the woman herself dying. And so it's just supposed to be very good. So I wanted to read some Charles Dickens, and I have only read A Christmas Carol, and I love it. I think so this one has A Tale of Two Cities and Great Expectations. I think I'm leaning towards Great Expectations, but I don't really know very much about either one. So just, it's a classic, it's Charles Dickens, so want to get one of his in there. Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. This book is set in Savannah, Georgia. This is by no means a new book, so I'm sure most people have already read this. I've been meaning to read it for years and years. I visited Savannah back in college when my friend was in college there, and it's a beautiful town, and I think it's just a very cool backdrop for a murder or suicide. They're not really sure what happened, so it's this investigation of this person died, and so yes, I want to read this one. The next one is The Giver by Lewis Lowry. This is about a boy who lives in a community time period, world, place where they don't choose things, and they get assigned a job at 12 years old. They get assigned their partner. They get one boy, one girl. There's all these very chosen for them situations, and at 12 years old he gets his job assigned to him, and he goes to learn about his job with this man called the Giver. And I've seen this book everywhere. I've heard great reviews about it, so it is on the list. Next one is Blue Highways, and this is by William Least Heat Moon. This is a travel genre book. This is cross country, across America, and it's this guy's experience traveling. And I have discovered that I love travel books. I love to visit new places and experience new things through books. And I just really, really enjoy the experiences that they go through, but I stay at home. I don't really travel well. I don't really like to go. Every once in a while I get a wild hair, but I love to read about it. So, and I think that here in the United States, we have a lot of beautiful places that I have not seen, I have not traveled to, so I can do it in a book. The next one is The Alchemist, and this is by Paulo Coelho, I don't know. This was on my list anyway for this year to read. This is a story of a young boy, and he goes on a pilgrimage, and it's about the people that he meets along the way. He does meet an alchemist, and just sort of his personal reflections, his experiences, and so it's supposed to be a beautiful story. The next one is The Yearling, and this is a boy who finds a fawn, and as a young deer, and he raises it. It's his pet, and it's set in Florida, and so there's other wild animals around that put it in danger, and I don't know if he has it inside or always leaves it outside, but there's gators, there's wild cats and things like that. I think even like a bear, wolves and bears. And so at some point he has to let this deer go into the wild and not be his pet anymore. So I think this book is going to make me cry. I'm pretty sure of it. But this one. Next we have The Bookwoman of Troublesome Creek. And this is set in Kentucky, and there is a woman, Cussie Mary Carter. She's a traveling librarian, and she brings books to everybody. Not everybody wants these books because I think they're more interested in food and just basic needs. And so she has to deal with a lot of racism and prejudice. They call her a blue skin, and I don't know what that means. I don't know what that is. But I don't know if it's historical fiction. I don't know if it's talking about like the dangers and the prejudice as old as the Appalachians, and inspired by true blue-skinned people of Kentucky and the brave and dedicated Kentucky pack horse library service of the 1930s. It sounds like historical fiction to me, but so this one. Then we have The Help, and this one is a widely known, popular, turned into a movie. I did not see the movie. I have not read the book, but it is set in 1962, and so it is the help that the maids, the cooks in this household, and it's their point of view as far as I understand it. And then we also get the lady that's in the house. So it's said to be sort of along the lines of To Kill a Mockingbird, and I loved that. So next one is Pine. This is by Francine Toon. I ordered this book. I am so excited to read this book. I absolutely love this cover. I love everything about it. It has, even though it's so simple and so clean, there's a creepiness to it, and I love that. So it's sort of a thriller, creepy mystery. This girl and her father, on Halloween night, this other girl comes stumbling out of the woods, and they try to help her, and then she mysteriously vanishes. Another girl goes missing, and so they're trying to figure out what's going on, but there's just a creepy vibe. It's like a small town. I don't even know where it is, but I'm picturing woods, forest, and the whole vibe, and I love it. So really can't wait to start reading this one. And then we have our epic love story saga of Gone with the Wind. I have this book. I really, I think if I wasn't doing this 50 before 50 challenge, I don't think I would be motivated to read this. It is not a book that has been on my TBR per se. I am familiar with the movie, I'm familiar with the storyline. It's not something that I was burning and excited to read, but I'm going to tackle it for 50 before 50. Okay, the next one is the Joy Luck Club. And again, they made this into a movie. Haven't seen it. Always wanted to read this book. I think it's just going to be a quaint little fun read, but this is set in 1949 when four Chinese immigrant women become friends. They get together regularly to have lunch and play games and discuss their life, and they all four have American-born daughters. So it's their life and their story. This one is The Kite Runner. This is one of those ones that you see it everywhere. I've had it on my shelf. I don't really know much about it. I think it's during pre or post war of what is it? Where is it? Afghanistan? I don't know. So I guess I'll read it and find out. I don't know. Okay, so this one is for my Twin Peaks people out there who watched Twin Peaks about 20 years ago. Because I think it was about 20 years ago that I watched it. It was like early 2000s, maybe, yeah. And this is the true crime story of Hazel Drew. And this investigation inspired the Twin Peaks story and the shows and the movie and everything. And, it was who killed Laura Palmer, but really it's who killed Hazel Drew. And so it is the true crime story of that investigation. So I watched Twin Peaks back then, after, not in the beginning when it was super crazy popular, but later on I did, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm gonna read this. And then we have Genghis Khan, The Making of the Modern World. And so this is his life story, which I think will be just fascinating. I think there are a lot of things that maybe I thought that may or may not be true, or but he had a very successful reign, and conquered many countries, many what was it? It's in 25 years he subjugated more lands and people in 25 years than the Romans did in 400. So I think it's just going to be fascinating, and I would like to actually get some real knowledge in my head about him, because I don't really know. So we're gonna read this one. That is it for the ones that I have in person. The next one, I don't own a copy, so I'll either get a copy, get an audio book version, or something along the way. The first one is Wild, and this is a story of a woman who walks about 1,000 miles alone, and it's her account of this experience. She decides to do it. I think she's either going through a divorce or she had a divorce. She's only 22, and she just kind of up and goes, and she decides she's going to do this by herself. And so I want to read that. And then the other one is Pines by, I think it's Blake Crouch. I think. Yes, I was right. I started a Amazon wish list for myself so that I could keep track of these in one spot. But it's Blake Crouch, Pines. And it's actually part of a trilogy. But this FBI agent goes missing, or a special agent or something. And so this other guy comes in, or maybe two of them go missing. And this other guy comes into the town and he's there to investigate and find out what happened to these guys. Well, he gets into a car accident and he wakes up in the hospital, and he has no phone, no ID, and he has a very weird feeling. He feels like something is definitely off. He can't somehow, I guess when he gets his phone, he can't reach the outside world and outside of this town. And so there's definitely something weird going on. So, want that one. Talk Pretty One Day by David Sedaris. And we had looked at doing this one for Audio Miles as an audiobook because it's supposed to be hilarious. It's supposed to be a great audiobook. It is a man traveling and he's trying to learn French, and it's his account of this, and it's just supposed to be a really great read. Okay, and then Bill Bryson's A Short History of Nearly Everything. I love Bill Bryson. I love reading his books. I don't have that one. I have heard some other booktubers recommend it and say that it's great. So that's all I need. The next one is A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. And I saw this reviewed by another booktuber, and she said it just emotionally destroyed her, and she kept thinking about it and kept going back to it. And I think it's about four friends that, so you get all their different points of view, but I think one of them is contemplating suicide or does commit suicide. But I'm not 100% sure on that. But I just remember, and then I've seen it other places, and that it's just an amazing read. So, okay. The next one is The Ring, and this is by Koji Suzuki. And I didn't know that this was a book until I saw Lauren and Ben did their 50 Before 50, and it's actually a trilogy. And so that movie scared me. Like, that movie was definitely one of the scariest. I like scary movies. That was one of the scariest. So I definitely want to read that, and I want to read all three. That would be great. And then the last one is Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. I had this book forever, for the longest time, and I don't know what happened to it. It was my dad's book, and then I had it, and then I never did get around to reading it, but I always wanted to. And it's about this father and son, and they take a motorcycle ride across country, and it's their experience going together. So I think it's going to be very poignant and very touching and very, and there's going to be some motorcycle maintenance and father-son moments. But yes, so it was rather challenging finding the 50 books that, because obviously you can find 50 books, but it's like 50 books that you really, really want to read. Because some of them you're like, I want to read it, but should it make the list? So it was harder than I thought it was going to be to complete this. And there's probably other ones that at certain points will knock these off the list, but I'm going to stick to the list. And these are the ones that I picked and I want to get through and read. So thank you if you made it all the way to the end and watched all of this. And until next time, I will be reading.